morning, everyone, and welcome. I'm Blake the Great, Guardian of the Gameshop here. Well, it's May 13th. Wednesday? Yeah, it's Wednesday. Sorry. The unprecedented times. Some of the days just kind of blur together. We are here for the next installment of the Inside... I'm sorry, not the Inside Gaming for Xbox, the SummerGameFest. This is the second release of the kind of event that Jeff Keighley's been pulling for the whole summer. It's going all the way to August. If you don't know, E3 was pretty much canceled. Video game Christmas is over because we can't have nice things. I'm going to adjust my mic real quick. Excuse me. What are we hoping to see from this? Honestly, we don't know what we're going to see. There could be something like what we saw yesterday, which was Tony Hawk Pro Skater, which I get mild interest in. Not for me, but just, for fans. In general, though, I'm hoping we just see something more exciting. Something that we haven't seen before. Something that kind of thrills you. Maybe something that has been rumored a lot, like, I know Warner Brothers has a lot of games that supposedly are in the works, like a Harry Potter game that got leaked last year that looked really cool. What has Rocksteady been doing? What about that DC game that was canceled, Superman, but then it was Suicide Squad, and then yada, yada, yada. I don't know, but I'm excited to find out. So hopefully we'll have something exciting today, and if we don't, well, I'll muddle through it. Well, we only have about 20 seconds left. If you like these, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you're watching this and you saw my Facebook post, maybe give me a little message there so that you enjoyed it and you're excited about it, or you're not excited about it, or you think I need to do something about this beard. I believe so too. But we're getting started. So let's get the show on the road. Okay, let's see. It's Epic Games. Okay. Was this an Epic Games exclusive? Is this a PC game that I'm not going to play? I'm trying to think of an Epic game that hasn't come out. It's not Gears. I mean, Gears is
years ago, we got together as
Microsoft
a team
now.
and brainstormed where we thought we could push forward state-of-the-art and real-time graphics. There were two key areas that stood out. The first, dynamic global illumination.
Okay.
Beautiful bounce
I don't know what that
lighting
means.
instantaneously.
Okay. Bounce lighting.
Tim
Tim Sweeney.
and I'm able to iterate a lot.
It's an interview with Tim
And we
Sweeney
call this
is
new
next.
system Lumen. And we're about to show you what it is capable of.
Why
But
do I
first,
know that
There
name?
was another area.
Isn't that the
that we
Epic
thought we could
Mickey
push
guy?
forward. Truly virtualized geometry. The artist went after
Virtualized
the
geometry.
poly counts, draw calls, or memory. You could directly use film quality assets and bring them straight into the engine.
And that's a big deal for artists. I just want to be able to import my ZBrush model. My
My
photography,
ZBrush model.
my CAD
It's
model,
very important to
without
me.
wasting any time optimizing, creating melodies,
Optimizing.
or even lowering the quality.
I like the French accent.
In the end, that's what it's all about. Art that just works. And we call this new technology nanite.
I
Here
hope this
is
is.
the future of Unreal Engine running live on a PlayStation 5.
Awesome.
I hope this is an actual game, and it's not just a showcase of some. Oh,
This has to be the one.
ooh, this looks. Oh, this looks good. Okay, all right, I'm drawn in. Oh, yeah. Oh, I like this. Oh, look how realistic. Look at those birds. Look how realistic this is.
Before we continue,
Showcases
let's
are
take a look at some
always,
of the
unfortunately,
this demo.
never get to where we want.
Much of what you see was built with Quixel Megascan assets.
I don't know what that
Using game
means.
versions, we use the cinematic versions, which would typically only be used in film.
Ooh,
There are around 1 million triangles each.
a million triangles.
Virtual
Oh,
texturing,
God.
They all use 8K textures as well.
Reminds me
Then I
of
can render an
when
insane
PlayStation
number of triangles
4 was
very
first
quickly.
revealed. Look at all the Viagra triangles just being dropped on the stage. So many triangles.
Nanite crunches down losslessly to around 20
Honestly,
million
this could look like a new Tomb Raider game. I wouldn't be
What do
surprised
so
if
many
Tomb Raider
triangles
uses
look
it.
like? This
Jesus!
is noise. These are the triangles, each a different color. Most are so small that they look like noise.
It's a lot of
Nanite achieves
details.
detail down to the pixel, which means triangles are
So
also
far
the size
we're
of
reacting to video game
This
porn.
amount of geometric detail requires shadows to be pixel accurate as well, and Nanite can do that too.
hmm
Speaking of lighting, all of the lighting in this demo is completely dynamic. with the power of Lumen that even includes multi-bounce global illumination. No light maps, no baking.
Mm-hmm.
Without GI, all of that beautiful lighting is gone. With Lumen enabled, we can move the light and the bounce changes instantly.
Oh, I see. That's cool. I get it. So the light bounces.
Okay, let's keep going.
Okay. Yeah, show us. Is this just a tech demo or an actual game? Because as a game, this looks cool. As a tech demo, sure, whatever.
We've made some great additions to our audio system as well. Convolution reverb allows us to measure reverberation characteristics of real spaces, like actual caves that we sample, and reproduce them in virtual spaces.
Mm-hmm.
Sound field rendering allows us to record and play back spatialized audio.
I'm glad Epic's still working on their engine instead
All of this adds up to a more immersive experience.
of just being exclusive to, you know, Fortnite and trying to kick Steam in the butt. Maybe it'll actually be a game.
This swarm of bats was created with our Niagara effects system.
Niagara effects
Particles
system.
in Niagara can now talk to one another and understand their environment like never before.
Great. Again, love the details. This really does look like a movie.
We've also added a ton of new functionality to run fluid simulations like you see in the water below.
Ooh, that's cool. This is such a Tomb Raider looking game. Look at the whole yellow thing to, it's like, indicate you're climbing. Such a marker for climbing, yellow. Thanks, Uncharted, for that. Though God of War did it better.
Chaos physics system. Here we are using it to accurately simulate the rigid bodies of the falling rocks and the cloth of her scarf.
Cool. Yeah. I don't think this is a game. I think it's just a tech demo. I hope there's a game attached to this actual thing. I mean, I don't know if Jeff Keighley ever said that there was going to be a game shown. He just said that there was something going to be shown. Maybe this is it.
We've needed to greatly improve
Definitely looks good.
navigation systems to adapt.
Just want a
Added
game.
predictive foot placement and motion warping, which dynamically modifies IK and body position to look more natural. For the character to more realistically
I like
interact
that
with the
little
environment, we've added the
hits her
ability
leg.
to trigger seamless contextual animation.
Ooh, that chocobo looking thing. Yeah, this is such a Tomb Raider-esque looking game, I swear. Got the Assassin's Creed
Dynamic
backpack.
AI is amazing, not just for speeding up iteration.
Oh, that's so
Any
cool.
light source can move while still having beautiful bounce lighting.
That's good.
Dynamic illumination means specular as well, which you can see on all the metal surfaces. You can even see the Niagara-powered bugs reacting to the light.
I like that.
Lumen not only reacts to moving light sources, but also changes in geometry.
Hey, Cheddar.
Remember we mentioned high poly assets? This statue was imported directly from ZBrush and is more than 33 million triangles. No baking of normal maps, no authored LODs.
I don't know what any of that means, but it does look nice.
And we can do more than a single statue. There are nearly 500 of that exact statue at the same detail level placed in this room for a total of over 16 billion triangles from statues alone.
Yeah, this is just straight up a tech demo. There's no
Over this
practical
entire
reason
demo, there are hundreds
a video game would
of
have
millions of triangles.
all those statues in a room. I mean, Tomb Raider, again, an Uncharted. It's gonna make those kind of games denser. Was she gonna spin this thing? No, she's not. They wouldn't waste her time in the tech demo with that. Oh, no, she is. I was wrong.
So with Nana,
Okay.
you have limitless geometry, and with Lumen, you have fully dynamic lighting and global illumination, all running on a PlayStation 5.
Ah, this looks so good. I know it's just a tech demo, but it still looks good. Looks beautiful. Ori, show me. Tell me where I can find the Will-o'-the-Wisps. Come, Ori.
There's not much time left.
You need to go
And this doesn't
save your
get
owl friend.
constrained to small rooms. It can stretch all the way
Oh,
It's open.
that's so cool.
Don't fail me now.
Of course, they would never have you go back that way. Okay, that was pretty Assassin's Creedy. Wait, oh. Oh, this... Okay, alright, oh. This looks great. This reminds me of, I don't like to bring it up, but Halo 5's opening. Halo 5's opening is great. Halo 5 campaign. Weakest campaign of the Halos. I was gonna say she wasn't gonna climb all the way back down there. That's just bad game design if she was. But that looked good.
It's time to see what's next.
Yeah, cool tech demo. Cool tech demo. Hopefully there's a game announcement with something. Probably not. I just want a CG trailer, you know? Was this PlayStation 5's thing? What? The Unreal Engine 5. Oh, okay. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Coming 2021.
There you go. The Unreal Engine 5 is real.
So that was the
and
reveal.
that was
Unreal
the
Engine
first
5. I mean, that's cool.
Footage of something.
I mean,
running on
that's
the PlayStation
pretty
5 as
pretty
well.
awesome.
Such
Unreal
an
Engine 5.
Amazing day, I think, for gamers.
won't
to get
deny.
a glimpse at where games are going next. And now it's my honor to be joined by
Just says
three
coming
guys from Epic to talk a little
2021.
bit about, today's
I'm wondering
announcement.
how long
First,
developers
Tim
have
Sweeney,
had
Kim LeBerry and Nick
Unreal Engine
and
5.
Warren.
But let's hear what these guys have to
thanks
say.
for joining
Hopefully
me
it
here
won't just all be
virtually.
tech.
This is a really
One guy with
big
a
and
little
exciting day.
globe
I
and
think
electricity.
I was so blown away when I saw this footage about what UE5 could do. And Tim, this is, I know, a special moment for you to have, put a 5 on this Unreal Engine. I remember the first time you showed me the original Unreal Engine. I think it was like
I will say one thing.
1996 at E3.
This
at Marriott Marina Del Rey.
the tech
and
is really,
I was
really
looking back
cool.
last night at like the old Next Generation magazine cover with like.
I'm just
can you
gonna put this
believe
out here,
is what
though.
a PC screenshot of the original Unreal
I-
Engine. How far
I
are we
feel like
from?
the industry is going in
tell me,
such
I
a
mean,
way
this is a big
that
moment for Epic.
the engines that we
what does
see
this
here
mean to
won't
sort of
be.
the company right now to be
I don't know
able
if
to,
we'll. I don't want to be
debut
a
the
downer,
first
but I feel
PlayStation
like
5
we
footage,
just.
but also,
I'm
introduce,
concerned that we will not
a
see.
new numbered version of
How do I
Unreal.
put it? The
Well, this really is a generational
the
leap
investment
forward in,
into
technological
like single player
capabilities.
games with this. Like this scenario, like
this-
it's
the hardware
taken
that
completely
Sony's,
out of a single player game.
launching is absolutely
Fortnite is not
phenomenal.
going to use Unreal
Not
Engine
only an
5 like in
unprecedented
such a way.
amount
I
of
mean,
graphics,
they'll have like
but
an
also
animated version, but they're not going to
completely
make
in
something
storage
like
architecture
this.
that blows
You know,
past architectures
where it's
out of the
super
water and is far ahead
detailed.
of even the
Not
state-of-the-art
to
and
say that I
highest
care
end
about
PCs you can
Fortnite
buy.
using the Unreal Engine
and so
5. I'm just saying, like
with
the
Unreal
point
Engine
is,
5, we set out to build a new generation of technology that empowers
new technology is great,
photorealistic scenes. They're indistinguishable
and
from
this is
reality.
all great.
And to do so
But
with a very high
how
degree of
many?
productivity, right?
What would
Like,
have
there are
been
two
more
problems
powerful
in,
is if
in
they
game
said
development,
Unreal Engine
right?
5
One
coming
is,
2021
the
and show all the
features
studios that are
needed to,
using it, because
achieve
that would give us a good sense of
complete
how
realism.
much adoption
But the other big
Unreal Engine
problem
5
is
is.
just
And
the
again,
cost
you
and
don't
time
have
it
to
takes for an
use
artist
every
to create a
aspect
major
of
piece
what they're
content,
showing here.
for next
You
generation
could
games.
use one
And so
aspect
Unreal
or
Engine
two
5 attacks both of
aspects,
those problems.
but they could go
We have
cheap
the
on other
nanite
aspects
system for
because they don't
virtual
want to spend the
geometry,
money on
enabling
adopting more.
Subpixel geometry, which is
You know. Plus, also, I will
imperceptibly,
put this out here.
imperceptibly
Unreal
different from the,
themselves,
full
whenever they make an
high-quality
engine,
assets,
they're
movie
always the
quality
ones who
assets
know
that
how to
were
make
originally
really
scanned.
good use of that
Also,
engine.
the Lumen
You know, we
and
saw that
real-time
kind of with
local illumination
Gears.
system,
Like Gears made
not only
games
to
look
bring
really, really
unprecedented quality
good.
and lighting to the environments, but also to free artists from having to worry
But,
about
you know,
the details.
I'll say this
lighting
much.
their levels,
If this is running on a PlayStation
quality
5,
trade-offs in static lighting versus dynamic lighting, and so
it's
we're really
impressive
trying
how
to empower
powerful it
developers here,
is.
and
It's
to
very exciting
enable developers to
how
create a new generation of
the idea
experiences,
that all
are
these
both
things can happen
unbelievably
and the system
realistic,
isn't
but also,
chugging. And the
economical
hope
and,
is that
practical for them to create,
games
without having to
will
have
run
1,000-person
physically
team.
better.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at that footage, in 4K, I mean, just the level of detail is absolutely stunning.
Yeah. It is
Kim,
stunning.
maybe you could break down a little bit of this, sort of visually what's happening that makes it look so incredible. Because I know you've got a couple of new systems that
wanna
you're
hear
really
this.
proud of. And maybe talk about Nanite and what that is and how it works and how it's going to kind of shape games moving forward.
Okay, so Nanite is a new geometry system for Unreal Engine that lets us get down to almost sub-pixel levels of detail on the screen.
Sub-pixel levels.
You know, it's capable. It's possible because we have a new generation of hardware that really allows us to put loads and loads of triangles at the screen. And we thought that we'd come up with a new technique that allowed us to be able to create content in a similar way to the way that they do on movies today.
I feel like this guy's
in fact,
Australian
when you look at
or New
demo, all them
Zealand.
assets,
I think
Nine
my
is
money's on New
basically
Zealand.
ingesting all the movie quality assets from Quixel to make that scene, and the artist doesn't even have to think about it. They can move rocks and mountains and statues wherever they want in the scene and not have to worry about triangle costs anymore. Lumen, the global illumination system that Tim mentioned, that just produces incredibly realistic and accurate bounce lighting. So wherever you place a light in the scene, its effect on the whole world is seen instantly by just moving things around. It's amazing.
That's cool.
Yeah, when I saw that demo, I was just so blown away by the visual fidelity, and also I think how much felt, at least to me as an end user, how much felt that so much of the environment was streaming in real time in so much detail, especially that sequence where she's flying through the environment. You know, Mark Cerny has talked a lot about PlayStation 5 and the incredible bandwidth it's going to have to move data from the SSD right onto screen. Nick, can you maybe talk a bit about how that's sort of manifesting itself in this demo? I assume some of those improvements.
Well, one thing I will say.
Are enabling.
You mentioned solid state drive and how video games are going to be somewhat reliant on them.
Yeah, so Nanite enabled
I want to touch on that.
Scene with geometric complexity that would have been impossible before. There are tens of billions of triangles in that scene, and we simply couldn't have them all in memory at once. And so what we end up needing to do is streaming in triangles as the camera is moving throughout the environment. And the I/O capabilities of PlayStation 5 are one of the key hardware features that enable us to achieve that level of realism.
Interesting.
Yeah, no,
he mentions
it's stunning
that,
to see that, and I think also
which is
the global illumination.
No.
I think people have
I'm wondering
that
if
concept before.
They said PlayStation has that I/O thing,
really
which
manifesting
Microsoft
sort of in
doesn't. But
real time
Microsoft
in
has
that
their own
environment
kind of
with,
thing
the
going on.
flashlight or some of the
I'm
other,
curious if
lighting
Xbox
scenes.
has a way of
Can you guys
compensating, or
break down
maybe
sort
that'll
of,
real. Like
on
people
the-
have been saying,
the gamer
PlayStation might
perspective,
just
like
have
how games are gonna
this
change
particular
because of
thing,
the
the I/O
full global
driver,
illumination?
that really
Well, yeah,
sets the two apart. I'll be curious to see how that goes. Both have a solid-state drive, so both could theoretically do it. But the I/O,
everything
the
from,
improved I/O driver on the PS5, I wonder if it's going to give them that much more of an
world
edge
types of
in
games,
how games look.
with day-night cycles, making seamless transitions from indoor to outdoor. It's it makes lighting one of the things that the developers don't have to worry about.
I mean, that's good.
It's a freeing
More powerful
technology.
tools,
Not only does it
preventing
mean more real-time
bog
lighting
down.
in games, but it
You
also
know, you
means
don't always have to
there's a large
squeeze
problem
through a
that
narrow
were
area in
very
order to get
tricky
to
in
the
the
next
previous
area before they light
developers
it.
just don't need
They
to
hide
worry
loading
about it. So I
screens
think
that
you're
way and
going
all
to see a
that. You know,
much
we don't need that
wider
so much.
variety of types of games. Taking advantage of Lumen and taking advantage of Nanite, and one of the core elements of every new generation transition is new hardware capabilities with an order of magnitude improvement over previous generations enable entirely new types of games to develop. The Battle Royale genre didn't even take off until the current generation.
Why are
where
we
you finally
calling
had
it a
enough
genre?
computing and graphics power
I wish
to
we could just call it a
play a
gimmick like it
game.
is. I
With
mean,
very,
it's
very
a
high
genre,
fidelity
I
and
guess.
this new generation
Like,
of technology that we're building with Unreal Engine 5 and that Sony's empowering
Battle
with
Royale.
PlayStation 5 will enable
I don't
entirely
hate
new
it.
types of game experiences
I don't
that
love
we
it.
can't even anticipate
I
yet.
just think it's like
Yeah, there's been a lot
it's
of
a
talk
concept.
over the,
It's kind of like
past
Capture the
release about,
Flag
the next
or
generation and kind of,
Assault or
will
King of the
League
Hill.
be as great
It's a
as
game
previous
type. It's not a
generations? What are
game
the types of things
like
we're going to
genre.
see? I think this demo,
I guess it's just so popular as a
you
game
know,
type
is
that
the
people
first kind of
treat it as a
real-time
genre.
example of something that's really grabs me. And I just want to confirm, like, what we're seeing there, that's all, like, you can actually play that with a controller? Like, that's not kind of frame dumped or anything? That's actually playable?
It's a fully playable demo.
Fully playable
we
demo.
Plugged in a recorder into the back of a PlayStation 5 dev kit and recorded the signal that came out over HDMI.
That's cool.
So it's a totally live demo, and it's replayable, and it's a little bit different every time you play it.
A little different every time
Wow.
you
No,
play
so,
it.
I mean, that flight sequence, everything, that's what's so exciting to me is like
That
this
flight
is,
sequence in
real-time,
particular was
footage.
super impressive.
So what do you guys think? I mean, when people say, like, what is the leap of this generation going to be to sort of, previous generations from like PlayStation 3 to 4 or whatnot?
And Unreal
is
was
it any different this time? Is it going to be greater?
There was a
less,
lot
or
of
we don't know
heavy
yet?
reliance on Unreal Engine,
I
both
think
in
the fence
360 360 generation
You know,
and
one
the
of the great
Xbox
things
One.
about playing games is you can
Snap. No.
transport into places that you could never go in the normal world.
Yeah.
This level of lighting and detail really gets you to a point where you're feeling like you're inside a movie set. Things are so realistic, and it's gonna aid the storytelling. I think that the sense of immersion, the feeling a player gets from actually visiting a space will be much deeper than you've ever seen before.
And the ability of the hardware and the engine to stream in massive amounts of content as you're going through a huge environment, I think that's going to have a much bigger impact on gaming than people are expecting right now. You know, until
we'll
this
have to wait
next
and
generation
see.
of hardware, previous generation console games had to be built to load data off of a spinning mechanical device, right? It has its roots in the 1950s, and now Sony's
You can hear
storage
the
system is
frustration
absolutely world class.
of years on
not
him.
only
Just
the
going like,
best
God damn, I
on
hate this
console,
spinning
but also,
mechanical thing.
the best on any platform, better than high-end PC. I think this is going to enable the types of immersion that we only could have dreamed of in the past. You know, the world of loading screens is over, and
We'll see. World of loading screens over. That's a high bar.
Popping up as you're going through
I
the
understand
game
certain
environments
loading
are ended,
screens, but
and
I'm sure by the end of the console
resulting effect
generation,
is
we'll just go
the
right
ability
back to
build
loading
games that are
screens.
fully immersive.
Ah, God, keep hitting it.
Gameplay, if that's your game.
Yeah, no, incredible what I think this is going to enable. We've talked a lot about PS5. We know obviously Unreal Engine runs kind of across all platforms, including mobile and PC and Xbox, of course. What's your take on like what you're showing here? How is that going to scale to to other systems? Like this demo we're seeing, is that will that run on the Xbox Series X?
Yeah.
Will it run on PC? How will it?
This is a good question.
Can you guys give us some context on
Jeff
that?
is so good at asking questions.
Well, I mean, Unreal Engine 5 is going to run across all of our supported platforms.
But
next generation console, current generation consoles, as well as mobile devices. One of the key features that we've been working on is being able to build content once and deploy it across.
And it appears differently across them all.
Higher end hardware where we can support Nanite directly, we'll be able to render scenes at the fidelity that you just saw.
Interesting how he
the
says that.
PS5.
Nanite
For,
directly.
say, an Android or iOS mobile device, what we will be able to do is have tools that help to scale that content down, so that you'll be able to take the game that you built at the highest fidelity level.
Well, he didn't exactly answer the question if Xbox One will run
Tim,
it the
do
same
you have
way.
a sense between like sort of all the like
Xbox
Xbox,
Series
PlayStation,
X.
all these other systems, like sort of they've made somewhat different choices, also some similar ones, obviously with SSDs in both. Do you have a sense of how they're going to sort of compare in terms of power, or how you look
God,
at
Jeff,
like the overall
ask him those
landscape?
good questions, Jeff.
Well, we love all of our babies, and we can't make comparisons or pick favorites.
We
but,
can't make comparisons.
The nanite technology we
They're
showed,
all our
here
babies.
is going to
There's
run
all of our
next
babies.
generation consoles and high-end.
They completely dodged the question.
And most importantly,
Hate when they dodge
this is
questions. Just
what's
answer it.
possible and the absolute best hardware that's going to exist, at the end of the year. But these experiences you build, we will help developers scale down to every device that exists in the world, and we really hope
The emphasis
hope to
on
empower all
they're not all
developers
going to be
do
the
what
same.
we've
They're not all
done
going to
with
be
Fortnite in this
equal.
generation,
We'll
which is
scale it
build
down to what's
absolutely
appropriate.
No sacrifices.
It makes me
high-end
think
console
maybe
games,
PlayStation 5 does have
and
an
then
edge over
bring it to
Xbox.
every device,
We'll have to
including
see.
scaling it down to iOS and Android devices.
Yeah, see, they keep
from
saying
years
iOS
ago.
and Android.
So
Yeah,
that
no one's
we
asking
reach
that.
a much
He
larger
didn't bring
audience
up
of gamers than,
phones.
just the-
You're bringing
the
up
hardcore,
phones.
Some 200 million console players in the world.
So Kim, I know a lot of gamers
You
around
can
the
see
world
Jeff,
watch
like,
that footage
face
and
going
said,
like, I just wanna-
wow,
I just wanna answer
want
that
to play
question.
that, but I'm sure they're also trying to kind of extrapolate out of that since it's this is not a game, it's a
Yeah.
demo. How their games are going to feel different in the next generation. And one of the things that I really took away from it was that flight sequence at the end, which was just incredible, and with, the
So
sort of the
good. I
rubble
wanna
coming
rewatch
down and things moving. Could you maybe talk about sort of how the game experience might change with UE5? Sure, it's going to look visually more beautiful, but how is it going to play different?
So traditionally on this current generation, if you wanted to make a photorealistic environment, the way that people do that is they bake lighting into the environment. The problem with that means the environment is not dynamic. You can't move things around. You can't incorporate user-generated content because you don't know what it is prior to shipping your game. But with this technology, with the Lumen technology,
that's a good point. User-generated content would look really.
So
there's always like a difference between user-generated and non-user-generated.
Components and things that change beyond
That's really
the release
cool.
of the game. Every day,
Potential for that's
the environment
really
could
sweet.
have grown and changed. And
I'd love to see like a game franchise that we know, like Halo, using
And does that extend to like?
But I don't
you know,
think
I
Halo
assume,
would
like,
use it. I think
destructible
they'd have to use
environments
their
and
own
whatnot, and
engine.
allowing people to sort of really like just. I mean, that sequence
Destructible
in the flight
environments.
where you sort of saw the sort of tower crash down or whatever. I mean, that felt to me. I mean, I just hadn't seen that level of detail in a game like that.
God,
Some
imagine
games
if
like
Battlefield
Uncharted or
actually
something
used
like
that
destructible
instead of
moments, but it
constantly
felt
trying
like
to
that
put
was
out their
so
own
detailed
stupid
and so
engine.
realistic. Is that partially because you
Guys,
can now
Frostbite, Frostbite 4. Is that what
Yes,
EA is
and
going to
even
show
things
this
like
year?
when we open
Frostbite
up the open
4.0,
world
Frostbite
stuff,
5,
just
whatever
plugs in
they're
and
on
bounces
now.
all over the place. You know, you really, the way you would have had to do that in the past is you would have to cheat. And now it can be fully dynamic. You can blow a hole in the sky and the light will come through, and even choose randomly colored lights. If you put them into the scene as a player, then they're going to have an effect on the whole world, and it'll still look
That's
realistic.
so cool.
So in the past, you could get that effect, but it would have to be sort of pre-calculated, I guess. Is that how it worked?
Yeah, exactly. And even if you want to, like, if you're saying you're in a dungeon and you place a light, you see you've got a candle that you happen to have in the game, and you place it. That
Dark
will bounce
Souls.
around corners.
Dark
So you can
Souls,
even
this game,
explore with limited
Dark
light
Souls
sources.
would make their
old-fashioned
games look
gag
really
of
good with this
flashlight
engine.
beam
Oh my
isn't what
god.
you need anymore. You can actually use light in really interesting ways.
Oh.
Yeah, and
Kindle
even
the
beyond
fire.
games, Unreal Engine has been applied to so many amazing aspects of entertainment. Of course, I think everyone knows The Mandalorian, how that used Unreal Engine, and
Mandalorian used Unreal Engine?
I mean, there's so many other uses of UE.
I'm shocked
you guys
by
talk
that.
about how sort of UE
Oh, that's
5
really
is
cool.
going to kind of tie into those experiences, and I think I assume you see this convergence of kind of everything coming together through an engine like Unreal in terms of just realizing entertainment. How will UE5 sort of be used in those fields, or how will that
that's a
shape
good
the
question.
pipeline for
God, Jeff.
non-game experiences too?
Bravo with your questions.
So one of the great things about Nanite is that it finally allows content creators of all kinds to be able to use movie quality assets. So there really won't be a difference. If you're building an environment for a film versus a video game, or you're making an IP that's transmedia, you can build things the same way now. And that was we had so much exposure to film customers over the last few years using our engine that we really wanted to remove the barrier for them and for all game makers. Right now, you just you pick a high
that tells you how
resolution
far
asset you want,
gaming has
you don't have
gone,
to think
where
about
the movie
level of
industry is
detail
actually
or
borrowing
normal
your
maps or
tech.
any of the usual stuff that goes with making game
Come a
content.
long way.
It's a pretty freeing experience for anybody trying to tell a story or to make an experience.
That's amazing. So in the eyes of a consumer, like, you'll see an asset that's in a movie, and that they literally can drag that over to the game now, whereas I guess in the past they would have to sort of reduce down the polygons.
That's so
and
cool.
kind of scale it
That's
down
so
for a game
cool.
engine.
There's so much potential for
And
that.
in fact,
Oh,
actually, Quixel, that's also part of it.
Oh,
Their
man.
assets, they come when you take an asset from the Quixel store. There is a movie quality version that would be used in movies. I guess they were involved a lot in the Jungle Book movie a few years ago, and many movies today use Quixel assets. And they also have
I'm
versions
gonna
of
adjust
them
something
assets
real
that are
quick,
suitable
so
for games.
just giving you a heads
now,
up.
You don't have to have that
Oh,
distinction.
nope,
Nanite
can't.
will just
Forgot.
take the movie asset and
That's how
do
I'm
the
getting
right
my
thing to it.
audio. Can't turn off the controller.
One of the things I know when you
getting
guys
my
moved to
audio through
UE4,
it.
a lot of people, were worried about, it's breaking some of the pipeline of things that people had done previously. And it sounds like with this engine, you're saying it's going to be kind of a pretty seamless transition to UE5, right? That's important for you, sort of have the.
Why does he have that electric ball there?
compatibility?
Like, he just thought, this is going to look
Yeah,
cool.
absolutely. We want to
This guy
support,
just has chairs.
Developers bringing
That guy
their
was, like,
games from
trying
UE4
too
to
hard
UE5,
in the bottom
and
left-hand
in fact,
corner.
We'll be doing that ourselves with Fortnite. So
Fortnite
we
will be using
be
UE5.
shipping Fortnite on next generation console on UE4, and then next year we will be bringing Fortnite to UE5 as well.
Oh, wow.
So we'll be testing
they
out
will
that
be doing it.
experience of bringing a game along
Okay.
from UE4 to UE5, and making sure the transition is manageable.
Wow. Yeah. Fortnite obviously is such a phenomenon, as you mentioned earlier, Tim, with battle royales. But also, I feel like Fortnite has turned into really kind of this metaverse-like platform where we're seeing kind of different experiences powered by Unreal. I was wondering if you guys could talk a bit about that, because I look at the Travis Scott concert and I see that as an amazing experience, but it sort of was an interactive music video in a way, and then you watch the YouTube video for his new song. It's actually just what was in Unreal. How do you see these all those sort of worlds?
I think I need to watch that.
Combining
Travis
Tim
Scott
term,
thing, 'cause
and
I
obviously
didn't-
based on what Kim was saying,
I
it's
don't
now
know
going
his
to be
music.
even easier, I guess, for the assets to move.
But I didn't
from an
like,
experience standpoint, do you see kind of a
this kind of
blending
thing.
of games with more traditional entertainment, powered by Unreal?
Yeah, absolutely. All of these worlds are colliding right now in real time. We're seeing the sort of film production.
This looks really cool, honestly.
Mandalorian and other projects all around Hollywood, film and television.
We can't talk about them,
yeah.
but we got them.
Being able to move directly to games in the future. Right now we've brought Marvel content into Fortnite and Star Wars content into Fortnite, and each of those processes started with rebuilding their movie quality assets for real time, using our tools. But in the future, this is going to be an exercise to build every asset exactly once and then deploy it everywhere. And the
Very
future
cool.
isn't just going to be about Unreal Engine serving a bunch of separate markets. We're helping architects visualize their
Smart
creations
from a
now,
business
and that's
standpoint, too.
awesome. We're helping film and
Having a
television
tool that can
makers,
do those.
virtually produce their work in real time, with actors in front of and actresses in front of cameras and big LED screens instead of green screens, and it's making the production process much more efficient, real time, and higher quality.
Pushing on that too.
All right, I'm gonna
very comfortable.
I'm gonna pause it. I'm gonna just end it for there. Let's just talk. We'll talk with Andy Serkis's face. Anyway, so a couple things about that. One, my enthusiasm going down, because that's exactly what they said. Unreal Engine 4 games are going to be shown this year, not Unreal Engine 5. They haven't shipped it yet, which means that it's going to be shown in the 2021, from what he just said. It's going to be shipped at the end of 2021. Game developers are going to take years to make games, and they're going to need years in order to understand the technology. So Unreal Engine 5, while it is impressive technology, I want to talk more about that in a minute, but what I'm getting at is we're starting the generation 2020. We won't see that engine deployed until 2021. The earliest game, let's assume 3 years. That means we are going to have to wait until 2024 until we even see a glimpse of what an Unreal Engine 5 game looks like. And that it tells me that a lot of games that we're going to be seeing this year are not going to have this thing that they've been talking about, which is, they'll have streaming obviously with the SSD, but it's not going to have this impressive technology until much, much later in the console life cycle, probably until the mid to end of the console life cycle. By the end of the console life cycle, we'll probably see like the fruits of how impressive Unreal Engine 5 is. But the earliest we're going to see is in the middle, and that's kind of a disappointment. Honestly, I feel like showing this tech was interesting. It was an interest, but now I'm starting to sour on the whole debut of this, because it's kind of like how it's similar to how Square Enix, when PS4 first came out, and how they basically put this big tech demo called, and it was the Luminous engine, which was similar, of course, Lumini, because lights, and they showed it, and it was like, this is kind of what we're aiming for Final Fantasy 15 and other games, right? And they showed this big, beautiful scene, and it was dynamic, and the lighting and everything was just gorgeous. But at the end of the day, it took years for a game to come out to even use that. And by the time the game came out that used it, i.e. Unreal Engine, i.e. Final Fantasy 15, the environments that they used, none of them showed that dynamic lighting. None of them showed that kind of crispness. Like on Final Fantasy 15, I don't want to get into a huge tangent about it, but I think it's a flat-looking game. It looks good in places, but the world looks really flat in a lot of cases. Sometimes it looks really good. Other times it looks really flat. So I feel like, I don't know, I feel like this tech demo was interesting to see the tech. I'm very excited to see it. I'm more excited to talk about what they were really getting into. But I feel like it's going to take, not only will it take years for us to actually see the benefits of it, I feel like this was just a too early debut. And it kind of disappoints me a little bit. I feel like it's kind of reducing our expectations for what we're going to see this year on new tech. But, you know, I will point something out. Video games have been relying a lot more, I personally believe they've been relying a lot more about style. You know, what is your art design? You know, what are those aspects? How does that carry your game more than graphical power? So I'm hopeful that we'll still get beautiful looking at. I mean, we will. I'll say this much: Batman: Arkham Knight, despite its problems as a game, you know, I love it. But come on, Batmobile, we don't need it as much as you thought we did. I think that's a gorgeous looking game. You know, Spider-Man, gorgeous looking game. God of War, gorgeous looking game. Last of Us 2, gorgeous. So you're still going to get gorgeous looking games. They're just not going to be as gorgeous as this for years. And that's kind of a disappointment. Now, what he was saying about how, like, I had no idea that Mandalorian used that engine to power that show. That's really impressive. And I'm excited about the possibility of movies using that. And there's, and I don't want to get too hopeful about this because, again, these video game types, this genre is notorious for letting you down. But imagining the possibility, he was saying Transmedia, imagining like what if Marvel decided, okay, we're gonna have the next Avengers game or the next event, we're gonna have the next Avengers movie. You know, we're gonna have a movie that's coming out in the future, but we're gonna plan it really far in advance, and we're gonna have a game that we're building assets for the movie and the game at the same time, and so we're moving them in between each other. And so we'll have a studio making game, like hopefully Square Enix's Avenger will be better than how it's kind of, you know, it looks good. I don't know if it's driving a lot of enthusiasm yet. We'll have to see. And the live service aspect nature being announced probably doesn't help. Live services kind of get a bad rap, and I think they don't have to, but we're getting on a tangent. The point is, I would be really excited to see, you know, a movie game, right? Like a movie and a game tied together. Maybe a movie comes out and has a game companion that's really short, but when you buy a ticket to the movie, you get like a game demo, or maybe, you know, the unprecedented times of the virus, you know, that could move movies to a whole different, you know, we're seeing an impact where movie theaters, you know, might not be as many as open by the time things start getting better. Maybe people's trending of what they do of going to movies, maybe that changes to they watch a movie on streaming services. We've seen a lot of movies being added to streaming services lately. So maybe there's something like, hey, Disney Plus, if you buy, you know, if you are a Disney Plus member and you see the debut of this on this platform, you get a chapter, like a prequel or an epilogue that's all gameplay. That would be really exciting. You know, it'd be a great way, like, you don't have to make a full game. You can make like an experience to tag on to the end. So the potential for how powerful this technology is, the potential for where it could go and where it could take media, I think is really exciting. But again, it's only a glimpse of what the future, and by future I mean 4 or 5 years minimum from now, will look like. Let's actually see if this interview is still going on. I'll be curious. Probably not. It is over. It just ended. So that's fine. Well, I think that's all I really have to say. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I missed. Oh, I guess that there is one. I did mention earlier that, you know, it would be crazy to see Fortnite use it, and they said they're going to move the engine, Fortnite, to the Unreal Engine 5, and that's fine. You know, what we could see from that for Fortnite specifically is destructible environments. I think that would be really, really cool. You know, there's a lot of potential for that, I think. God, the demo itself was like 9 minutes minus the time that they were talking, and then their interview was like 30 minutes. That's crazy. I think that with all that, I'm going to just go to the gaming channel just to see if there's anything else shown. Okay, cool, interesting. You know, with all that though, game companies are just kind of relying more on cheap, gimmicky ideas, you know, just kind of not very innovative, just kind of copying each other. You know, we see it with the Battle Royale genre, similar to how we have World of Warcraft, these live services that require so many players to be playing. And I just don't think there's an audience that can provide that market for all these games. I think a lot of games get hurt that way. But we could see, you know, Mortal Kombat, for example. Imagine the next Mortal Kombat game running on Unreal Engine 5 or an Injustice game. All the environment, you know, you already see a lot of details in those games with the environments and what's going on in the backgrounds and things. But imagine having that. Like, that would be really, really cool. You know, I don't know if, but, you know, again, Mortal Kombat has a stylization to it too. It's not just realistic that they aim for, it's a stylized realism. So, I don't know. The tech is very impressive. I'm a little disappointed because if they had said that developers had the tech for a while, I'd be more excited. But the fact that they said that they aren't even releasing until 2021 means it's going to be a while till we actually get games that use it. But overall, I think this was a good show. Interview again, a little long, but I think that wraps it up for this this Summer Game Fest episode. So thank you for watching the video. I hope you liked it. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that bullshit. Hope you're enjoying these videos and this coverage. One thing to bring up is that the camera, I know, has not been perfect. I realized actually that I have a better camera. I found it in the closet that I bought like last year. So I'm going to get some help setting that up and figuring that out. So hopefully by the time we see another video of these, the video quality will be better. I'm also going to be playing around with other things. Still have an intro. By the way, just giving a shout out to the music that you've been listening to recently. I don't know which one I'm going to play for this one. I have a couple of ideas, but in my last couple of videos, I've been using, if you're wondering, what is that song? It's so catchy. It's Cuphead. It's from Cuphead, and it's Floral Frenzy. Or at least I believe that's the name. But it's the one where you have Cagney the Carnation. Hold on. I can bring him up. You got this guy, and he's got his little hands. He's just yeah. Anyway, you've heard it. The point is, I'm gonna put him back. So I hope you guys once again enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Blake the Great, Guardian of the Game Shop, reminding you as always to keep on gaming.